Big Barcola to Arsenal Fabrizio Romano update. You guys need to know this and read it because it's really huge. And his interest by Arsenal has been confirmed. Now, don't think that we are only cooking our own stories. These stories are real, and it's indeed one of the stories that is obviously gonna catch all Tech Arsenal fans to the sky. Smash the like button, comment, and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David being my name, and hope you guys are really great in here onto our beautiful channel. Now, we are going to be talking about Thomas Tuchel and Dani Ceballos, former Arsenal loanee from Real Madrid, and he has obviously gone ahead to decide where his future lies in the coming hours in here for you. So don't forget to subscribe. We want to hit 30,000 subscribers, and I'm really liking the pace that we obviously taking as the side of Rokani Media Football, and we are left with just I think it's 8, right? 8 subscribers to hit 29,200. Have you heard that? We are left with 8 subscribers to hit 29,200 subscribers, meaning that when we hit 29,200, we'll be left with 800 to go. Now, you see the big job that you guys have gone ahead to do. It's really one of the best jobs that you guys have gone ahead obviously do in here for you. And the long journey continues every other day that we obviously wake up and obviously bring you stories that you guys enjoy. Now, Bradley Barcola is a player who plays at PSG, faced Arsenal in the Champions League final, and went ahead to obviously be on the winning side. Now, Fabrizio Romano has told us that there is genuine interest from Arsenal on Bradley Barcola. The player is still not signing a new contract with PSG. Now, Bradley Barcola sees himself as a player who deserves more minutes. You saw to it that in the final, they brought him on, I think, for Kivisha Kvaratskhelia, right? And he doesn't see himself as the kind of player that only plays 10, 20 minutes. He wants to obviously go to a club where the manager will obviously tell him, you're going to get into a starting 11 because you are that good. I like those players who believe in themselves, but my problem comes in here when they cannot come out and obviously get out that aura in them or that feeling in them are the best players in the world. Bradley Barcola believes that he should be starting ahead of Kivisha Kvaratskhelia. To me, which is not bad, but he hasn't obviously gone ahead to put there enough evidence, right? Enough evidence to obviously come up and obviously show the manager that indeed he deserves to start into this particular team. So Arsenal has genuine interest in Bradley Barcola. You understand? The interest is genuine. And when Fabrizio Romano says it's genuine, you know where we're heading to. Now, Arsenal having a genuine interest in Barcola just shows you that they're obviously going to dispose of some forwards in there for you. And this is one of the moments where Arsenal fans should obviously get more excited because I know what it means. It speaks volumes. 1, 2, it is one of those signals that Arsenal want to win big trophies and they want to bring in players with huge winning mentality. When you look at Barcola, he has been part of PSG that has gone ahead to defend 2 Champions League trophies in there for you. They've won the League 1 titles endlessly, and Barcola is that player that you bring in through to obviously electrify your attacking line. Because, as a matter of fact, Arsenal need better attacking players. I can give you a club like Man United that I support, When you look at Cunha off the left, Arsenal doesn't have a player who is better than Cunha off the left, And I would put out a very huge argument about Amadi Diallo. Talking about the skill set, players who are really press resistant and can obviously beat off players. And Brad Barcola has that. He can obviously take off any player that he really finds in his way. Whether with pace, all weather with a skill set. Even if you hold him or you swamp him, he can obviously get out of that swamp of legs. So that is the beauty of Bradley Barcola. And I think he's better than any Arsenal player who plays on the left. That is it. So Barcola, when he comes in throughout Arsenal, I think would have gone ahead to obviously make a very huge decision and better. Why is it better? Because a club like Arsenal needs a Bradley Barcola. That is it. With his talent, if Arteta goes ahead to modify him better, he can be that one player who will obviously unlock those low blocks for the club of Arsenal. Let's all admit that this season, Arsenal has faced more low blocks than any team in the Premier League. Every team defended for their lives. They never went ahead to obviously give Arsenal attacking space. So if you don't have attacking space, you need players with a skill set that can obviously make what we call an individual effort to obviously unlock it. And Bradley Barcola is one of those. So if there is genuine interest for Arsenal, for Bradley Barcola, it's really interesting because I've already told you that this time round, for the players that Arsenal are bringing through, 60, 70, 80, 90%, let me say even 90% of those players should be proven. And then the 10% can be raw diamonds. Like they brought in a Mosquera, Hincapie in there for you. But the other 6 players, when you look at them, at least they had done it somewhere and they all went ahead to improve Arsenal. So Fabrizio Romano has confirmed this interest. It's really genuine. Very, very genuine. And at the look of things, nothing will ever at any one time, not happen in the transfers, especially in the interest of Arsenal, because Barcola wants to go out of PSG. And he knows it is that it's not one of the most watched leagues. PSG can get you the money, they can get you a contract, but maybe Barcola is looking at playing in a league that is really more popular than League One, because his contract runs down in 2028, meaning that he's left with 2 years on his contract. If they don't sell him now and he doesn't sign, he'll be like, I'm left with 1 year on my contract, I'm going to run it down. And they'll sell him on a chip. We are yet to understand the price that they want for Bradley Barcola. That is it. We are yet to obviously understand. So, we're here and we are waiting to see what the deal of Barcola brings on the table for the club of Arsenal. Now, some people might be wanting to know Bradley Barcola and what he's all about. Now, Bradley Barcola is not old. He's not old. He's a player who was born on the 2nd of September 2002. He has 23 years of age. He's 1.8 meters tall. He's a French citizen, but I think he has Togolese origins. He can play as an attacker, left winger. He can play as a left forward, right forward. He can also play as a false number 9. And Bradley Barcola has the following attributes if you need to know about him, So, Barcola has the following attributes. Let me read to you these attributes. Explosive pace and acceleration. Barcola is highly regarded for his lightning fast speed and explosive bursts, allowing him to breeze past defenders on the flanks. You understand? So, that electrification, that lightning fast speed in there for you, explosive bursts in there, he is really good at that. And he really crosses defenders with his pace in there for you. Elite dribbling. He possesses close ball control and agility, making him extremely dangerous in 1v1 situations and tight spaces. So, this is where Arsenal need him most. He possesses close ball control and agility, making him dangerous in 1v1 situations and tight spaces. Now, 1v1s, it's okay. Many can beat people in 1v1s, but I'm talking about tight spaces, situations that Arsenal have fallen in a lot the previous season. You understand? And this is the guy who will come out and obviously unlock this for Arsenal and obviously cause the best for the team of Arsenal. So, in tight spaces, he's deadly. Even if there is space, he's deadly. That's why Arsenal are really pointing at him, because they look at him as an upgrade of Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli. That is it. So, Arsenal are really putting out a fight for this. And I tell you what, indeed, it's what it is, and he's really great. Tactical versatility, primarily a left winger. He's highly adaptable and can operate on either wings or as a center forward. So his tactical versatility is really great. He can play in three positions, and this is very important for a club. Having players that are really multidimensional helps you in situations where you are having injuries and in changing your game tactics, and playmaking and vision. Beyond scoring goals, Barcola is a highly creative player with strong crossing ability and vision, constantly racking up assists in there. Clinical finishing. He has a composed and efficient shooting ability when cutting inside from the left, combining precision with power. So, he's the jam. He's the player that Arsenal are really chasing in for. And I tell you what, he can do the job. I was in certain TikTok live with my friends, and there was a guy called Timo. He was like, Barcola, no, I don't really like him. And I'm like, to Arsenal, Barcola is an upgrade. For me, it really awaits to see the price. That's when I come out and really comment. Because if they come in through and obviously call in for ridiculous money, then there are better players who can obviously do that. But it will depend on the amount of money Arsenal are willing to sign or to spend on Barcola. But I do believe in the player, and he has a lot to do for the club of Arsenal. So wait and see how Arsenal will progress with this deal, whether they lose the player or not. But Barcola is not renewing his contract at PSG, and he wants out. So what will PSG come out and say? That's what we are really hugely waiting for in here onto what we call the Rokani Media Football. Now, he came in through at Arsenal, and he was a loanee from Real Madrid and really put out a very huge showcase. I think the last time he really had the last time he played for Arsenal was in 2019-2020 when Mikel Arteta was here, and he was like, go. But as we speak right now, Mateo Moreto, Ajax are on the verge of signing Dani Ceballos. The deal could be completed for 6 million euros. Now, Ceballos, his time at Real Madrid has gone ahead to come to an end. But I think he's one of those players that have gone ahead to obviously win big at Real Madrid. That is it. Because when you look at Real Madrid, I think they've gone ahead to win 2 Champions Leagues. 2021-2022 season, they lifted the Champions League, and Dani Ceballos was part of it. Then, the other guy is, the other here was 2023-2024, where they beat Borussia Dortmund, at Wembley. And 2020, it's 2021, 2022, they beat Liverpool, right? And it was Vinicius Jr. who penalized Trent Alexander-Arnold for not really keeping his back post very well. So that is a team known as Real Madrid. Dani Ceballos has 2 Champions League trophies, and he has multiple La Liga trophies for the club of Real Madrid. And Real Madrid are like, it's over in between you and us. And I think Jose Mourinho is obviously going to be selling many, but Ajax is the team that has going to raise up their hand to obviously sign Dani Ceballos, a player that I really never admired a lot. I think he's an average player. I cannot come out and obviously rate him highly, and Arsenal people can come in here and really defend me about it. I'm not that kind of person who will come out and say he was an exceptional lad. I cannot come out and say it. He was a basic player and a good squad player. He's not that player that you'll have in your team and you're like, when I have him, all is obviously going to be okay. I don't really believe in that. But he had all the attributes of a player that could really look good in the midfield. But I was not really moved by what he obviously showcased at the club of Arsenal. I think that's why Arteta never went ahead to obviously tell Arsenal that let's make this deal permanent. Yet for Martin Odegaard, who came in through and played just, I think, for 6 months, Arteta was like, let's get him on a permanent deal from Real Madrid. And Dani Ceballos would have gone ahead to be cheaper, because for Martin Odegaard, Arsenal paid, was it 30 million euros, 32, 33 million euros for Martin Odegaard there for you. So I tell you, the club of Arsenal is doing whatever it takes. Did whatever it takes to whatever it took to get out Dani Ceballos and signed in Martin Odegaard. And we've gone ahead to see the transformation of Arsenal and how Martin Odegaard has gone ahead to contribute to this club ever since he came in through on a permanent deal in the summer of 2021. And Mikel Arteta is the orchestrator of all that. So Dani Ceballos is obviously going to be going to Ajax. And Ajax is a team that I really love. I think it's one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest when it comes to what we call the Eredivisie and the history in there for you. And it's a team that I think went ahead to obviously have some great stars and great players. But when he goes there, he'll obviously have the likes of Clarkson, Goditz in there for you. Weghorst is there. And there is Big Hayes in there for you. So they are trying to build a different team altogether as a side of Ajax in there for you. But I want to let you know that obviously he will obviously enjoy himself that side and see to it that all goes on well as planned. I think they never qualified. They never qualified for what we call the Champions League, because they finished 6th. So I don't know why he's obviously going to be going there, but they might be playing in what we call maybe the UEFA Europa League come next season in there for you. So that's where he's going and that's where he's heading to. So we wait to see how he'll obviously feature in there for you. Now, lastly, let's talk about Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel has finally come out and said something about the loss of Arsenal in the Champions League final. You understand? And these have been his words. They went toe-to-toe with the best team in the world at the moment. They made them go the full length to a penalty shootout. It's as close as it can. There is no need to be overly disappointed. I'll see them Rice, Saka, Eze, Noni Madueke. And I think it will be no issue to lift them if needed. I saw pictures and heard messages that they are happy to come. The group is waiting and they are in good spirits. So, because they played in the Champions League final, these 4 players from Arsenal have been given some time to obviously rest. Remember, the Champions League final was played on the 30th of May. And today, it's 7th, meaning that they've given them a rest of 7 days. I think it's well deserved for these players. And it was like they went toe-to-toe with the best team in the world. And by the way, when you look at Arsenal, if you're doing a combined 11, you remember when I did a combined 11, I think it was 5-6. Not bad. But PSG have built their project for some long time. And when you look at most of the players there, they've been at PSG for some long time. You know, Achraf Hakimi, Nuno Mendes, right? You can talk about Marquinhos. Talk about Fabian Ruiz. Talk about the Barcolas, you know, the Desir Does there for you. So PSG have built this project, and that project has been rotating on like 5 players who are really constant, and the others have gone ahead to change. You know, Yao Neves, Vitinha, I think they've brought them in like two 2 seasons back, right? So if they've gone ahead to do that in the 4th year of the squad almost playing together at Arsenal, I think it's a benefit of, it just gives them a benefit of doubt that next time in the Champions League, I tell you, Arsenal is going to be more deadly, because such squads have gone ahead to come in through and win multiple Champions Leagues. For example, do you know why PSG has gone ahead to win Champions League back to back? Because they've kept this team intact for some time. And when they start to win, they indeed can't get stopped. That's how Real Madrid came in through and obviously went ahead to do the needful and played and won 3 consecutive Champions League trophies in there. And if you remember that team of Manchester United that Sir Alex Ferguson built from 2003, and they reached the Champions League final in 2008 and they won it. They went ahead to obviously reach a Champions League final next season, 2009, with Barcelona, and Barcelona beat them. They went ahead to obviously lose Ronaldo and some players, the Alstevers of this world, and then they went ahead to obviously play another final in 2010, 2011. Those are like 2 seasons later, they went ahead to do the needful. So that's how teams that win these trophies are built. So he knows it very well, Thomas Tuchel, and he has hinted on to trying to obviously motivate them as they get to this. I don't think that they are really demoralized. They've won the Premier League. I think they are walking with their heads up. You saw that trophy parade in North London. I think it was really great. So guys, thank you very much for thinking through. Barcola to Arsenal, Fabrizio Romano transfer hint has been dropped. And what do you make about it? Dani Ceballos to Ajax, your thoughts about it? And lastly, your thoughts about Thomas Tuchel talking about Arsenal's loss to PSG in the final. He says they lost with respect because they pushed PSG to the line and it was penalties that went ahead to separate the 2 sides. Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really having super fun. See you when you see me. I love you guys, and no one will ever stop me from obviously talking to you on a daily. Thank you. Early morning video and more videos will obviously drop on here 2 hours later. Bye bye.